There are a lot of myths about traditional publishing and self-publishing, and that's another reason I started doing my YouTube channel, is that I hate a lot of the myths that have come up around traditional publishing, and I regularly debunk a lot of them. Yes. And some of them come from companies trying to push people into self-publishing, but they charge them for it as a service, and so they spread lies and complete falsehoods. The latest one, which was only a few weeks ago, was that in order to be traditionally published, you need a million followers on social media.
What?
That's the latest one. And I'm just like, hang on, this isn't like 5 years ago, 2 years ago. This is weeks ago. Someone has put this on their YouTube channel, and look, they're a self-publishing service, and they can help you get their book out. You just have to pay them lots of money to do it.
Yeah,
I thought,
of course.
Right, sure. So I hate kind of stuff like that, and it's another reason I've got like lots of videos debunking stuff.
So what are some of the common myths that you've heard, other than some of the latest ones? Because that seems pretty outrageous to me, actually. I
don't know anyone who's got 1 million. None.
No, like, maybe Brandon Sanderson has.
Stephen King now, but when he started, anyway. The biggest myths about traditional publishing are you have no control over the process of your book, that your book will be turned into something else, that not the story that you've written. That's a lie. They'll cut you out the process and you won't know what's going on. You do at every stage. You know what's going on at every single level. Every editorial note that you're given, you can say no to them if you want. It's a suggestion. Everything. People are like, no, you have to do what your editor says. No, you don't. Everything they tell you is a suggestion. If you ignore the ones that make sense, then that's on you when everyone points out the huge plot holes when the book comes out. But so there's a lot of them that come out. I mean, I try to be as impartial as I can, because there are negatives to the traditional space, and I've been in it for 10 years, and there are negatives to the self-publishing space. But it's being fair that I haven't seen enough of, which is why people like myself, Alexa Dunn, Michelle Schusterman are traditionally published authors on YouTube doing videos about both sides of really.
Yeah, and I think that, you're right, that is a perspective that you don't hear, or that we don't hear as authors as much, because there aren't as many people trying to sell traditionally published courses and that sort of thing, because there's a process, an outline process for that. Whereas there is a lot of really shady courses, programs, and all sorts of things trying to take advantage of people trying to pursue their, this dream of becoming an author, that, people are willing to sink money into it. And there's definitely people trying to take advantage of that, right?
Yeah, and it really upsets me. It denigrates a lot of the hard work. Like, it took me over a decade and many, many books to get traditionally published. And I didn't know anybody in the industry. I didn't have any friends and contacts and all that kind of thing. That's another thing they say, you have to know someone. No, you don't. You just get pulled off a slush pile. It's all about the work. It's still about the work. So,
right. Yeah. And there are pros and cons to each path, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got picked up after many, many books, but the first book that I went to with my agent was then published. There are other authors that I know that now have books out, some of them with the same agent as me, that their first book with that agent and the second book did not go anywhere. So Andrea Stewart, Bone Shard Daughter, and a new series, new trilogy is coming out. I think it's her third novel that was the one that was actually the Bone Shard Daughter. She has the same agent as me. And the first book, our agent picked her up, said it's great. They went out to the market with it, and it just didn't work for whatever reasons, timing, or the second book didn't work. And it was the third book. So, she's got over the huge, massive hurdle that so many people struggle with in the traditional space, which is getting an agent, someone who believes you, a cheerleader who's going to back you all the way. Said no. So
really cool. I actually have Andrea's coming on the show next
month.
month.
So she'll tell you about that then.